Welcome back to Central Florida Spotlight, joined now by Central Florida Congressman Alan Grayson, someone we should be hearing a lot from this year. Representative Grayson is, of course, running for outgoing senator and presidential candidate Marco Rubio's seat in the Senate. Welcome back to the show, Congressman Grayson. We appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Let's start where we left off in our earlier segment regarding our national security and terrorism. You've been outspoken about some people's ideas. What are your ideas to help protect all of us?
Well, let's understand what the terrorists want. The terrorists want to induce terror, and they want to introduce division inside American society. So if we allow that to happen, we are literally letting the terrorists win. We have to remember that we're the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Is ISIS a true threat right now to all of our safety?
Not in the literal sense of actually being able to mount any sort of attack by military means on U.S. soil. That doesn't exist. They don't have planes. They don't have the weapons that can reach the United States that are military weapons. So in that sense, no. I think what people are concerned about, and understandably so, is a long-term threat that could unfold over the course of years or even decades. The way to deal with that threat is to bring together Muslim countries in the region and have them exterminate ISIS themselves.
Should you win the seat that's currently held by Marco Rubio, how strong and how loud will you be as it relates to your stance in fighting ISIS?
Well, I'm going to continue my efforts for as long as I can, whether I'm in the House or the Senate, to try to come up with the winning solution. The winning solution here is very simple: to bring together the Arab countries to fight an Arab threat. That's the way it ought to be done. The countries in the area should deal with the regional threat on a regional basis. But I'll tell you honestly that I do my best in this regard as a member of the Foreign Affairs Committee, but I'm far more concerned about our seniors, and I'm far more concerned about improving their lives.
How has that campaign push been going for you? There have been some key members of your team that have departed.
It's been going really well. First of all, I think people in Florida understand more and more that seniors need a champion. We haven't had a true champion in Congress since Claude Pepper died in 1989. And since then, we have not seen any raise in Social Security. We've seen no expansion of Medicare benefits. And we desperately need that for our seniors. We have so many people who are one Social Security check away from bankruptcy or poverty here in Florida, not just in Central Florida, but around the state. And we desperately need somebody to deal with these problems and to make their circumstances better.
How about the loss, though, of your campaign manager and other key staffers? Why was that, and what happened?
Well, we had 3 staffing changes over 3 months. That's not unusual. We have an 18-month Senate campaign. I don't know of any campaign anywhere in the country that's gone for 18 months that didn't have any personnel change, so it means literally nothing. People can see that we're hitting our marks. We ran ads during all the Democratic debates, and I'm proud of that. That's not a simple thing to put together, to do, even to pay for. So we are definitely communicating with the voters and making sure voters understand that we can have a progressive champion in Congress, in the Senate next year, someone who will fight for seniors, fight to make education affordable, fight to increase the minimum wage, and generally improve benefits for people who work.
Why would a campaign manager leave? What was the reason behind that?
He wanted to work with a much larger staff. His experience is to work with a staff that amounts to dozens or even 50 people working for a campaign. We had a campaign like that last year, but that was only for a few months. We're nowhere near that point now. We don't have a large field operation, for instance. We don't have a large phone banking operation. We just aren't there, and we're not going to be there for several months. So it was frustrating to everybody involved because his experience was to work with a very large staff, and that's just not a good use of campaign resources right now.
Speaking of resources, your opponent has $3.5 million in a war chest. Last report, you're in the $250,000 range. Is that enough to get your message out there? Can you get it done, or will this campaign be decided by money?
Well, we started late, so we have to live with that decision, but the fact remains that we're doing it in a fundamentally different way. My campaign opponent in the primary, Patrick Murphy, is taking hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars from PACs. He's taking it for political action committees, and frankly, his votes have been adjusted, if you will, accordingly. We don't do it that way. I'm the only member of the House of Representatives who got most of his money from small donors. Now, small donors often mean small checks. But the fact is that there's 116,000 people who've gone to either congressmanwithguts.com or senatorwithguts.com and made a contribution to our campaign. I'm one out of 435, the only member of the House of Representatives who's financed 2 campaigns in a row that way. That money comes in late. You know, people who give $10, $25, $50, they're not thinking about the 2016 campaign right now, but they'll be thinking about it when it matters next year.
When they go to the polls.
Giving.
And when they go to the polls.
And when they go to the polls.
That's really the only... Right?
That's right.
All right, we'll be back. When we come back, we'll get Congressman Grayson's thoughts on the recent budget deal in Congress and what his thoughts are about the new leadership in the House of Representatives. Plus, where does he stand on this whole presidential, both GOP and Democratic debates that are going on? That and more after the break.